Welcome back. You clicked this video, you seen the title, and I got your attention. If you clicked this video, then most likely you've been in this position, still in this position, and still empowering, getting through. I'm gonna be honest. I'm trying to write a script for this, but I never do well with these things. I usually just let it flow, and it'll come to me. I just want to make sure it works. It'll come to me then. But the name of this video is 26 and Broke and what I learned from that. And you clicked the video, so obviously you have some familiarity with it. You are in it. You got out of it, and that is your staple. That is a learning point. It changed your life, whatever it may be. This is one of the things that may not resonate with a lot, but it resonates with me. And I was sitting to myself one day, and I was like, yo, I was actually appreciating, the things that I'm doing. Actually, I'm gonna take this off the wall because I don't think you can even see it, but I was appreciating where I'm at right now and where I was. And honestly, I just wrote 26 and Broke on the board. You can't even, I gotta write it backwards. But yeah, I was appreciating. I just take some deep breaths, 'Cause I gotta take a lot of deep breaths because, going through a lot and making it out from most of the, life's dangers, or what we feel as life's dangers, you might have a little bit of lingering effects. Depression, anxiety, self-doubt, all that, and a whole bag of Doritos. So I was taking some deep breaths, working on my breathing, trying to really regain my self-focus, and a thought just came to my mind, man. It was like, it just hit me, man. And it almost spoke to me. It was like appreciation, right? And it's crazy that what I was appreciative, of course I was appreciative, being able to tell the tale, be able to speak here, be able to put this together. I was appreciating that I really went through it and experienced it and made it out. And I was like, yo, I wonder who else feel that way, right? Who else been through that moment, that fear, that time, that season in their life, and it's like you hit ground zero, rock bottom, and you was one bad day away from being homeless, houseless, whatever you want to call it. You was one bad day from being homeless. And I used to tell myself that when I was going through these things because, I was staying on couches of aunts and uncles, and I'm like, they have their own norms, they have their people in their life, and well, one bad day, and well, wake up, hey man, you gotta go. And there's nothing you can do about it. And I used to tell myself that all the time, like, be prepared for when that day happened. And it used to be so many moments where I tell myself to be prepared of imaginary things, man. And at the time, it felt like the right thing to do. But now it's like, bro, he was making your situation a whole lot worse. But then I used to laugh about it. I tell him, like, this is kind of like how I feel. Like, this was going on. As I'm in those moments, I used to be like, yo, I'm one bad day away from being homeless, man. You could wake up one day and be like, man, fuck this guy, right? And doing that as a joke made it feel like it was a joke. So it took away the seriousness of it, but at the same time, I still had it back in my mind. But that's not what I'm really talking about. I really want to talk about what I learned from that process. And one big thing, what I learned from the process, can you see me if I sit down right here? Do I need to scoot up? I'm serious. One thing I learned through the process was appreciation. Appreciation. That's what I learned through I learned appreciation. And once in my lifetime, I've known appreciation, not just any appreciation, appreciating the small things, right? And going through that season and coming out of it, making out, it allowed me to enjoy the small things, the little things that we look over, to be able to walk, sit, breathe. Like I appreciate breathing again. I appreciate breathing again. But there was so much growth and development being, broke at that time. And of course, I should have stated this in the beginning. Broke is a mindset. And we all say broke is a mindset, right? We all say broke is a mindset, right? Well, yeah, it is a mindset. And I was broke at that time. My mindset was shot. So it allowed me to appreciate the small things again. It allowed me to see things for what they are and not what they could be and what they should be, but what they are. It also allowed me to say, fuck it, right? And not just any fuck it. It allowed me to not give a darn, right? Not give a darn about opinions. Because think about it. This is basically what I had a whole list of things that I want to talk about, but this is really just the only thing I want to talk about. And I'm not going to extend it out just to make it a long video. I wanted to talk about how being broke allowed me to say fuck other people's opinions. And now here's what I'm about to say. Fuck other people's opinions. Because here's what I want to say. Let's say there's things that you do in your life, different things that normally you don't do, right? There's always somebody that got an opinion here, got an opinion there, and sometimes you don't listen to it, but sometimes they're a little close. It's like you don't listen, but in the back of your head, back of your mind, you keep it there. Well, being broke, well, okay, I no longer care how people think of my content. I no longer care what people think I'm doing. I no longer care how you think about me because, hey, guys, I had nothing. I had zero, okay? I lost my car, my house, my home, friends, ships, friendships, relationships. I lost it all. It all was just getting washed away. Family members of mine were just blabbing and blabbing and blabbing. Even they were even throwing more fuel to the fire in my own little world that I was in, knowing what I was in, making it worse. So guess what? Guess what I'm here to say? The only thing I wanted to say at that time, going through that, not realizing at the moment, coming out of that, it birthed something. It birthed a baby. I'm that baby. I do content now. I just do whatever I want because I don't care what no one thinks. I no longer give a damn what no one thinks or how they see me. Okay? I don't care anymore. Now I'm going to still be battling those lingering things, and anxiety. I'm still going to battle things because that's just going to happen, right? You could not give a damn and just still have those effects because, well, I'm all here now. I'm all in my head. And it does it on its own. It does it on its own. For example, I would be doing work, of course. Everybody knows, what's it called? Rumination. A thought happened and it keeps roaming and roaming and roaming. Then I catch myself like, bro, why do I keep thinking about that? Shit is so annoying. Like I can't stand it. And then I get back to work and it clears itself up. Because I'm going to still have those lingering effects. It's going to work itself out. Maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, but in months' time or years' time, it will dissipate. Right now, I deal with it. Should I bring this camera down a little bit? So that's all I really want to discuss with you of how I really stopped caring and why you should too. Because man, I had nothing, guys. Zero. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone was talking with me. Everyone was talking about me. For some reason, when shit hit the fan, I became the topic of everyone's discussion. Felt like it felt, and one, it could have been the mindset I was in that felt like that, but then it was actually happening. It felt like everyone had a judgment on what was going on. You should have did this. You should have did that. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing? Everyone had a judgment coming towards me, but no one assisted, but a few people. People did. Those that did assist it, just those that did assist were just there, and they made those situations a whole lot better. Like they were the mitigator. Like it was stuff that's getting over, but they were there, standing their ground. I'm gonna put that in better words. I'm using all these imageries and shit, but those that did assist it didn't truthfully just speak on behalf of the situation. Hey, this was going on. I talked to them, and they just like, okay, cool. This is what we can do. I got you. Boom, bam, bam. Not telling me what you should have did right or you should have did. They wasn't judging decisions. They only knew what was going on and what can I do to help. And that was it. Those else was just running amok. But yeah, I had this whole thing I tried to do, try to really map it out. But as you can see, my content it don't really work well. I just like to go and ramble on. But yeah, it allowed me to appreciate the small things again, because at that time you can't do any like your whole life that you build, the whole thing that you built was washed away. I'm a blank canvas, guys. This was me unlearning all sorts of things. Nothing here. All the activities that I enjoy, the things I like to do, where I want to go, who I want to see, was nothing here. It was nothing. It was nothing. So I will start from ground zero, blank. But yeah, man, allow me to appreciate that. Allow me to listen. Allow me to see things for what they are. Allow me to take a step back. There was a lot of growth in being broke. And not just financially, even though I was, financially being broke as in that mentality, that mind state. Because there's so much happening. There's so much jargon. There's so much clutter that's just going on. You're in your fight or flight 24/7. And that's one thing I'm working on. I've been in my fight or flight for a whole year. And when you're not in your fight or flight, it still roams. I don't think people are aware of that. Like your fight or flight still goes on. You got to learn to control that once again. So it's a learning process even after the fact. So it's just like you're gonna always have that luring constant battle, which is, I mean, it's just fine. You're gonna have battles in your life, but it's just one thing that people don't talk about. You're gonna have those. Everything will just wash away. There's gonna be some stuff that still linger on that you're gonna have to get over. Well, not even get over, just control, mandate. But yeah, being able to enjoy the small things, being able to take a step back, appreciate for what they are, not what they could be, and possibly just start anew, start anew, a new fresh pair of eyes, man. Being able to say, you know what, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and do not worry or what they may think. Just do not worry. No longer you was at nothing. If you click this video, you relate at somewhat degree. You had zero. You had, or not even zero. You were losing the things that you built and curate, and it felt like you was alone. But there was a few people that was able to listen or process and kind of just be there. Not really get you out that rut, but just be there. You got you out that rut, but they were there. It was like an assistant, They were there to assist when it was needed. But man, that's pretty much it. At the time of being 26 and broke, it was just so much growth and development in that time. There was so much confidence that came from that. That's the reason why I'm able to create the things that I've been thinking to create for years. I've done short films. I've been talking about short films since 2019. It's 2024, going on 2025, moving to 2026, and then some and then some. And I finally was able to create something that I've been talking about for years now. That's already proof that some new confidence was born. It allows you to speak. It allows you to articulate yourself without holding back, without the emotions, without the gaze of stares, and without the feeling, who cares, man? Who cares? Do what you do. Do what you love. Figure it out. Yes, it may not be the lucrative thing that people are not talking about. So what? So what? We only got one of these, man. One of these. You can start whatever you want to start. And then, yes, you might end up losing it all if you're not properly planning what. And then if you do properly plan what, there's still some things that might happen when you lose it all. So what? If you lost it all trying to do something you love, you don't think you can gain it all back? You don't think just because you lost it, you can't gain in the process? You don't think so? If you don't, you gotta start thinking, man. You gotta start processing. You gotta start listening, seeing what you see. I know this may not make sense because sometimes it only makes sense to me. It only makes sense to me. But yeah, being 26 and broke helped me appreciate small things again. I appreciate gaming again. For example, I don't think I gave any examples of what I appreciate. I appreciate breathing. I did say that. I love breathing, man. Man, you ever just went outside, you ever just like laid outside and took a walk in the park and just breathe it in, and then you smell shit, something dead. I was practicing breathing. I was like, dang, what's that smell? But appreciate breathing, appreciate gaming, like just being able to sit down and actually enjoy. Appreciate the small things. Appreciate just water, drinking. It's just crazy. It allowed me to appreciate so much yet again. And I'm not go rant on about no some awakening. No, this ain't none of that stuff. It's just appreciation, man. It's a feeling that is really hard to explain. And I love it. There's gonna be times where you just go continue life and you gonna have those battles, but there's gonna be moments in like you're gonna always learn that skill to appreciate in the middle. Like when things happen, you're gonna still be like, okay, you're gonna laugh. Just like when I told the story about I had a major panic attack. That was I haven't had a panic attack since early 2000. No, no, I think I had my first panic attack in 2021. And then a month ago, I think, I can't remember the last time I posted a video, 2024, I had that one. So it's been a couple of years since I had any form of panic attack. And I had it in, like I said, like I mentioned in my video before, I made the situation, I didn't give fuel to the situation. The situation made me feel like I was dying. It was the end, it was up. And I told myself, if this is it, if this is how it's gonna be, I did start and continue what I want. I actually began doing what I really love. I began creating again. So this is it. All right. If this is it, if this feeling that we're having, this attack we're having, if this is it, this is where I end it all. I sat there and said, let's go. I said, let's go. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Then I started regaining my breath again. Then I calmed down. And I laughed. I chuckled because I appreciate the moment. I appreciate the moment that I had during that moment where I was like, okay, we appreciate the life that we live. We gotten far, guys. We gotten pretty far, whether you want to believe it or not. We gotten far. You may not feel like you have, but you've broken a lot of unsolicited norms, unsolicited things that was placed upon you that you didn't know you had. You broke a lot. You broke a lot of those barriers. You broke a lot of those chains. So you did a lot. And whether you notice or not, you have left an imprint on those around you. It may not spur up now. It may bloom years from now. It may bloom. I don't know when it may bloom, but it will bloom. So you get that confidence of appreciation through the hardships. You can weigh in the good and the bad. The bad. You can weigh in the good and the bad. So these are just these things that I was able to learn, appreciate, announce to myself when I have these moments, when I go through these things. And Yeah, man, I would say there was a lot of lessons being taught in that broke mind state. Now I'm creating and I'm managing a whole lot better. I'm managing all my things that I want to do, all my projects, and I'm on. I'm going to be creating so much. I'm going to create so much. I'm going to be putting so much out there. I don't know what it may be, guys, but it's going to be a lot, and it's going to be all sorts of things. I'm thinking some. I'm talking all sorts of things that I've just been sitting on. I just been thinking about and just never did. We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. We're going to enjoy. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. We're going to be frustrated. We're going to be tense. These are just things that make us human. Things that make us normal, right? I think that's it. I had man, listen. Let me tell you something. I had you can't really see it, but I had a little. I want me to double check to see if I talked about the meat and potato, which I did. I know I did, but I want to make sure if I want to. Yeah, no talk about the opinions. Find enjoying the little things. The reality check. I feel like I touched base on that a little bit. But yeah, I appreciate you watching, man. And like I said, the title may be 26 and broke, but it's only because well, I'm 26 now. But it can relate with anyone. It can relate with from 0 to 100. It can relate. Some grow at different stages. Some grow a little faster. Some whatever. But it can be relatable. So I want to share this. I want to talk about my perspective on how I experienced being broke at this time or at that time, and how we grow out of it, and what can we do, what do we learn. Like, there's a lot of times some people don't learn from their mistakes, and seeing others talk about these things can help them. Like, you could watch this video and be like, I never thought about that. It's called getting a different perspective, man. That's the whole point. we I ain't gonna say we've People get caught in having issues when people have different perspective. Let's say a spouse or significant other or friend or just someone close relative. You want people to have different perspective. You want to appreciate them for having a different perspective because it gives you a different view of the situation. It allows you to learn. Don't get frustrated all the time. Even for those let's say my mother, for example. My mother always had a different perspective than mine. And I used to tell her at one point I didn't like it. She always used to speak on the negatives in every situation. And we talked about it. We had those hard conversations. I told a lot of people that have those hard conversations. Those are the ones that strengthen bonds, having those hard conversations. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's hard. That's the whole reason. You want to have those hard conversations. So we had that. Why do you always bring out the bad in every situation? And I begin to listen. I begin to learn. And I begin to appreciate it. And I encourage it. So I go to her actually these days, but I want her to tell me her side. I don't call it bad anymore. It's just her perspective. And I use it to my advantage. Now, since we had that talk was about years ago, I want to think about 2022, about 2020, year 2020, around 2020, 2022, between those time frames, we had that discussion. I think it was around that time. And I began to apply it to my life. I began to apply it to my business. I began to apply it to my projects. I will curate ideas and plans and have the good, bad, ugly, and absolute worst. And that allowed me to make decisions. The good, the bad, ugly, and absolute worst. And guess what? The absolute worst of every project never change. You don't know what it is? The absolute worst thing that can possibly happen from anything that you want to do and think about is death, guys. Is death. That's the absolute worst thing that possibly can happen is death. And guess what, guys? That's going to happen regardless of we don't even care about this, but we always imply it in the scheme of things. So I'm like, okay, the worst thing that possibly happened in this project is death. Oh, let's do it. And I started a few projects like that and still would continue to do that because we should not fear death, guys. I know we have gone way off, but I'm going to wrap this up. 4 things. I just really wanted this. I really wanted to give that a little more supportive details to allow you to understand what I mean when I say I'd apply it to my projects now. Because now I will do things, and that's pretty much it, right? I will do things, and that moment when you have that, should I do this? I don't know. Should it work out? I write out the 4 major things that can possibly happen. And if that's it, I'm like, oh my God, bro, let's do it. Let's try it out. And that's how I began doing the things that I do. Death is the absolute worst thing that can happen. It don't get no worse than death. It don't. Death is not. You can't do anything anymore. The rest, you can still do something. You still get opportunity with those. Whatever these other 3, which is of course good. Whatever these other 2, we don't know what these 2. These 2 is a mystery. But with these 2, you still can work. You still can operate. There may be some downside, some downfall in these 2, but they still can be operated. You still can make something happen. That's the key component from learning from the 4 major. Absolute death. The good. This trial and error. This is trial and error. So if these are the 4 things, why won't you start that idea? Why won't you freaking give it a shot, man? They're going to tell you to do this. Don't do that. Let me tell you what happened because I did this. Let me tell you what happened because I did that. It's going to always be that. It's going to always be other people's perspective. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. We're at 30 minutes. Okay, we're wrapping this up. But yeah, long story short, it's a lot of confidence, a lot of lessons that I learned that I was able to retain through the process. Man, it was so much. It was so much that I learned. Ooh, during that time, man, I was going through it. Woo. But it was so much that we learned. So much appreciation. So much. So much, so much, so much. Create. Who cares, man? Who cares that I lived on someone's couch? Who cares that I lost it all? Who cares that I'm out of this and I'm out of? Who cares because I didn't have? Who cares, man? Who cares if I didn't have money? Who cares if I did have money? No one cared. No one cared. No one cared. So why would I care when I start to create? Why would I care now that I'm creating stuff? Now everyone got their opinions and want to give their input. Why would I care? I was on the ground, lay low. No one cared. Now I'm working to be even higher than I thought I was. I lost it all, and I thought I was reaching the pinnacle. I thought I was getting to the point where I'm hitting that door. I'm getting to the top. I thought that was the top until I lost it all and realized that wasn't even half. That wasn't even the margin. So why would I care now if they didn't care when I was down here? Let's freaking do this, man. This video may be all over the place, but let's freaking do this. Remember that part. Let's freaking do this, man. I had a whole list of things, but you know what? That's all right. You a blank canvas. Let's start filling this bad boy up. Let's start filling it up, man. Huh? Let's start filling it up. I'm out of here, man. This is yours truly, the Major T, Two Curse. Let me stop. Mr. Two Curse, welcome in. You're the man, you defend the win. You do everything that you can. You keep on moving your hand, Mr. Two Curse. Okay. I don't even know if I'm gonna add that. I'm having too much fun, man. Peace. Love ya. So, it's about 26. Let me get my marker. Give me a second. If you click this video, then you're probably in the same boat as me. Well, we're in the same boat, still in the same boat, almost really about getting that boat. 26 and broke. Now, you don't have to be 26. You can be 30, 36. You can be 25. If you click this video, then you're probably in the same boat as me.